You guys remember that time when I came on here and I was talking about men in relationships and I was telling you that story about that guy who refused to clean between his lower cheeks, not these, the other ones. He refused to clean between his cheeks because he thought that was an activity reserved for men who love men. I've saw this. This is not the, and I know some of you were very shocked. Like, what? There are people who do that? You need to go on Reddit, okay? Because I truly believe that Reddit and Twitter are like free birth control. And TikTok too, I'm not gonna lie. And a little bit of YouTube. Social media in general. It's just free birth control for me. Because like, I just get to come online and I get to see all these stories of women that are like suffering in their relationships. And I'm like, oh my God. I don't need to worry about not having a man. Can you imagine having a man who has a whole science experiment in his rear end and will not clean himself because that isn't what men do? And these are the same women who will laugh at you and talk about how you're single and you're gonna die alone and you're gonna be lonely. And I'd rather be lonely than be with a man who doesn't wipe himself, who doesn't wash himself. It's nasty. But okay, let me read you this story because it's not the exact story that I'm thinking of. I'm still searching for that story where that woman was crying on the internet about how her man would not wash or wipe between his cheeks, lower cheeks, because it was for men loving men. I have not, I read that story like 10 years ago on the internet. It was viral on Twitter back in the day and I can't find it. One day I'll find it. But this story is not too far off. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just read it together, guys. I don't want to be one of those people who reads Reddit stories all the time, but some of them might get me to do so. So let's read. It says, my husband doesn't use toilet paper. I've, 22 female, dated a few boys over the years before finding my significant other, that's what SO stands for, but I've never seen anything as bizarre as what he's doing. Some of you may think I'm trolling, but for the love of God, I kid you not. I just don't have the will to say this to him, male 24, or anyone else. So I figured it was harmless to come on here where there's no shame of anyone who knows me. My new husband, I'm going to slouch so we can see more. My new husband, mostly while sleeping and other random times of the day, has a habit of picking his bum and sprinkling bits across the bed that I'll find and get grossed out about, as well as other areas around the house too. And I know that people sometimes may be into weird things, but I can't tell you how unappealing it is to be in the bed and spot crumbs at random moments, and it really destroys any mood for me personally. How the heck do I tell him that he has to stop without coming off weird and condescending? He does it under the covers, and I'll have no clue about it. And I don't want to sleep where there's literal doo-doo crumbs laying around. So let me move one more time. Try and get myself out of the frame. Okay. TLDR. My husband doesn't use toilet paper and picks his bum under the covers and leaves crumbs on the bed and other places around the home. I don't want anyone on planet Earth. I don't even want the extraterrestrials coming to say anything to me about being single. Don't tell me a word. I don't want to hear, that's why you single. You gonna die alone. You too black, ugly, fat, bald-headed, whatever. This is why nobody wants to marry you. I don't care. I promise you, I have seen at least 12 of these stories in the past 10 years. At least 12 of these stories where women are coming on the internet and crying about the fact that their man will not wipe or wash between his lower cheeks. And I'm sitting here and it frustrates me because I know there's some of you who are going to be like, well, why does she just tell him? Why does she stay with him? Why does she this? Why does she that? We have to remember that women are socialized to be nice. Like, we are literally, as women, punished for being rude to people. We are always conditioned that we have to be nice and we have to come through the lens of being nice. And so if you dare break the mold and upset a man a lot of times men are not taught how to process their emotions. And so a lot of them are not taught that, hey, if somebody does something to hurt me, I have to deal with that emotionally. The fact that they have set me off balance. Or maybe I can use my words to talk it out and come to a resolution. No, a lot of these men, when you make them angry and you embarrass them and you hurt them, they respond in anger, and the anger often translates to violence. And so because women are trying their best to navigate being in love, being in relationships with people, and of course we all grew up on the Disney movies, we all grew up knowing that the natural order of things was being somebody's daughter, then being somebody's wife, and then being somebody's mother, right? And so there are women that have been conditioned that having a man is one of the most important things in the world, and that even if he has the most disgusting, abhorrent habits on planet Earth, you must still find a way to make it work because you don't have value if you're single. And I promise you, anytime I see a story, or if you want to, you can send them to me. Any stories that I see with men who have poor hygiene habits, I'm going to come on here and read them. I'm going to come on here and read them for you guys. I don't want to hear anything about how I'm single and I'm old and I'm bitter and I'm washed up. I've hit the wall. I know that and I'm fine with it. But these girls are in the trenches. They're in the trenches. What do you mean that somebody is flicking doo-doo flakes in your bed and around your house and you're just sitting there and you're just dealing with it? It's just okay. What do you mean? What do you mean? I understand not wanting to tell him about it because you never know how people will react to things like that. But the fact that he's not cleaning up after himself in the bathroom, the fact that he's flicking fecal matter all around your house and is not cleaning it up after himself, you're going to have to clean it, is disgusting to me. And it horrifies me that she is in this situation. And first of all, it horrifies me that you think that you don't deserve more, that you can't leave and find something better for yourself, that the best you can do is a man that flicks doo-doo flakes in the bed you sleep in and in the environment that you live in. Do you know that is a biohazard? Like, that is waste that comes out of our bodies. That can make you sick. If he's flicking that in the bed you sleep in, you don't know what happens when you're asleep. You could breathe or eat that in by accident. Like, ew. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, girl, you need help. You need to leave him. You need to get away from him. This is disgusting. And the fact that he is that comfortable and he's your new husband, so that means they've probably been married, I would guess less than a year, if she's calling him her new husband. They've probably been married less than a year. I would actually be surprised if they were married more than 3 months. I'd be surprised. I haven't gone to look at the full story, and maybe I should, but I'll do that. I'll do that later. But I'm sitting here and I'm thinking to myself, like, he's your new husband. A new relationship should have a honeymoon phase. A new relationship should have a time where everybody's on their best behavior because they want to show the person the best of themselves. And if he's already comfortable enough with you that he is flicking doo-doo flakes around your house, how bad are things gonna get? Because this new phase, that's usually the best the marriage is gonna get. It's going to get worse from here. Are you comfortable knowing you're gonna have to sleep with that person, clean up after that person? And if you ever have boy children, you are going to have little gremlins around your house that are going to do the exact same thing that their daddy does all the time. Are you comfortable with that? Can you live with that? You are 22. I'm sure you're gorgeous. I'm sure you can find better. But your self-esteem needs work and you need help. I tell you, man, although it is lonely sometimes living on my own, obviously I live around people, but not in my unit. But it can be lonely living by yourself. It can be lonely navigating the world on your own. I very much like the fact that I don't have people in my house cramping my style. And I love the fact that I know I bathe every day and I try to keep my best to keep my life clean. I could not have somebody in my house jeopardizing my health and my safety like that. So I don't know. Don't anybody come and tell me, oh, you're still single, you're washed up. The ladies who are dating, they're in the trenches.